Hi Clash of Kings, it's Gatita Mala from Kingdom 291. Today I wanted to talk to you about offensive damage and defensive damage. These are two very important variables in attacks. We will be going over a guide and I will try to show you in my castle so you can understand the charts a little bit better. All right, so let's go to this chart. All right. This chart was put out by Clash of Kings team, and we will give them a shout out at the end of the manual. All right, so it says offensive and defensive stats guide updated. And the reason this was updated was because there has been some updates such as Magic Book that have come out and have added to the stats. Also, the Dragon Glass Charge has added to stats. So there has been a few changes, and we just want to make sure that everybody has the updated information. So it says the older version of this guide has been updated according to all the new features that have come into the game. Attack and defense situation says we know that attack and defense are a round system. In the case the attacker and defender are not only attacking but also defending. In the half round, the attacker is attacking the defender. Let's say Castle A attacks Castle B in an attack defense round. The attacker first attacks B, the B attacks A, and then A attacks B, and so on. When A, who is the attacker, attacks B, which is the defender, A's offensive damage attacks B's defensive damage reduction in the next round. When B, defensive attacker, attacks A, offensive defender, B's defensive damage attacks A's offensive damage reduction. Addition and multiplication, offensive attack and defensive attack are multiplicative factors in the battle outcome formula, and normal attack and defense is addition factor in the battle outcome formula. Common misunderstanding. Offensive attack won't add up to total attack percent. If offensive attack is 25 and the infantry attack is 400%, total infantry attack is not 425%. So please understand that offensive damage percentages are not the same as your attack stats. Those are two completely different variables. Okay, so this is the offensive damage chart. On here, it's going to have sources. The source column is going to be areas that you can possibly get offensive damage. Original value is going to be the max amount that you're able to get from these sources. The equipment research and 8% equipment buff location, that is going to be an area where you could possibly get this percentage if you were to have this 8% buff. So this is a possible variable. This is not a definite stat. This is something, it's a skill that is, it's bought. So the final value is going to be your total of what can possibly be obtained by using that source at its max, okay? With a max of 223.78% of your offensive damage. So if you were to follow this guide, now you probably won't get 223%, but you will be able to up your offensive stats if you up some of these things in your castle. Okay, so let's talk about the Archangel helmet. So here it's saying the Archangel helmet has 6 opportunities to get 1.8 offensive damage. So if you're not familiar on how you can do this, one of the ways that you can do this is by times 5 your Archangel. So that would mean that you would have additional attributes on a gold Archangel. And sometimes this is easily obtained if you're a very lucky person. Sometimes it's very hard. So with that being said, if you were to have the 8%, your total value could be 13.82. So let's go to my castle. I actually have this on my Lord. All right, so I wasn't so lucky, but I do have 1.8% 2 times, and then I have an offensive damage taken to 1.80. That's good enough for me. I'll take it. So that's how that's done. So if you were to put that on your Lord and on your hero, you could possibly get the 13.82. All right. So, ancestral spirit research. You could get 90%. Okay, that's huge. That's so much. So a total of 91 if you were to get the 8%. So that would mean that you would have to have all of these completed. And it's going to be in each civilization. So you would have to have this done here. This one gives you 16. And then down here, this one gives you 8. You would have to complete Viking civilization. That one gives you 16. This one also gives you 8. Yamato. This one gives you 16. This one gives you 8. Huaxia is a little bit different because the first box is actually a defensive damage. So, but here at the bottom, you get 8. So adding all those up all together, you get the 90. All right. So now we're going to Skyfall Dragon word. You get 25%. So let's go to that. There you go. Offensive damage taken is 22%. Offensive damage, 25%. And for those that cannot see, let's try to get me to share. All right. It's this right here. Offensive damage. Right there. Okay. So let's go back to our chart. All right. Level 38 Dragon Glass is going to give you 27. Then if you have the charge, all right, and the charge meaning that you have all 3 colors at a level 38 and they have the pink charge, get 10.25. Okay. So I will show you what they're meaning by that. Okay. So here is my level 38. Okay. And you will see the offensive damage. And I have it charged to obtain the extra stats. However, I also have this charged in orange to pink and purple to pink. This way I obtain an added attribute. So if you see here, it talks to you about this extra attribute. That's what these colors here are. So in order to obtain this, you have to get those specific colors. And the only time that it adds is if you have all 3 of them. So you can't say, oh, well, I'll get orange and I'll get half of that. It's all 3. It's all or nothing on this. Okay, so let's go back to the manual. All right, so your magic book. So in your magic book, you have an opportunity to get 22.50%. So let's go to magic book. And we're going to go to the manual. All right, so we'll start with Holy Light of Ice. Here you have opportunity to get offensive damage. all the 5s, all the shard 5s have opportunity to give you offensive damage if you complete them. And 4 as well. I think 4 is the only, the 4 in light 4 and shadow 4 have offensive as well. And then defensive ice and blood, fire, and wind also have offensive. So if you complete those, you will be getting some offensive damage as well. So let's go and see. All right, level 48 Warhammer and Purification. So this is what they're talking about with the Warhammer. I am slacking on my Warhammer, unfortunately, but I will get him up. Okay, so you want to 48 your Warhammer. Well, you don't necessarily have to 48 him, but that would be nice. Then you would use this star 2, next non-rally. The troop of your castle is higher than the enemy, regardless of reinforcement. You'll randomly get an offensive damage taken. Bonus between 10 and 25%. That is awesome. So you really want to get that star 2. And then when they say purify him, they mean this. So you would need all 3 to get the maximum stat. So we would want this, and this to be changed. This is really good for a gold consumption event, to up those and change those. So if you want to work on that, have at it. All right. Your queen's leather boots and your queen's ring. I do not have a queen's ring on mine. I have a helmet. So I will show you that. So here's my queen's helmet. I am getting 5% from the queen's helmet. Okay. Yes, it does. Now, keep in mind, offensive attack is very important, and losing a little bit of stats from your Archangel, I'd rather have better offensive than worrying about losing some attack stats. So just keep in mind that you will lose some stats, but you will definitely see a difference. And I always suggest to everybody to try it. If you're skeptical about losing attack stats, definitely try in Ancient Battle. When I moved over to the Queen's helmet and boot, I just wasn't sure about it. I was just like, oh my gosh, but my stats are so low. Like, how can this work? So, but once I saw what type of damage you do with offensive, I was just like convinced. I was like, I love this. Oh my gosh, why didn't I do this before? So, definitely if you're skeptical about it and you're just unsure because everybody gets caught up in the hype that your attack stats have to be super high. And yes, good attack stats matter. And when I say attack, I mean the attack percentage, but your offensive is so much more important. So if you're a numbers person, you will be skeptical at first, like I was, because I am a numbers person, but you will definitely be so happy that you changed. Okay, so now we're going to go and we're going to look at her boot. All right, so you're going to see here that I don't crop. All right, so this here also gives you 5, so that's a total of 10. So onward and forward. All right, so It says, note, after activating Warhammer Hero Vanquish skill, this is skill number 2 in the next non-rally siege, if the total troop power of your castle is higher than the enemy, regardless of their reinforcements, you'll randomly get an offensive damage of 10 to 25. So it's not a guarantee that you're going to get 25 every time. You may get 10. So it says, the above stats are considered at maximum possibility, so the total offensive damage can be increased from 224 plus 10 to 234, or 224 plus 25 to 249. So it could be either one of those. All right, so the next chart is an offensive damage reduction, and since I've already shown you everything, this is the same. So we will not have to go back into my castle. So in Archangel, you saw that I had 2 offensive damage and then 1 offensive damage reduction. So you have the opportunity to get the same number over here in the other column. Sorry about that. My finger wants to draw. All right. So you could get a total of 13.82. And the Archangel set bonus, you can get 7.15. So this is, here, I'll show you. So if you were, let's see here. All right, let's change out some equipment. Let's give me, we're going to steal her headpiece, and we're going to steal her boot. All right. So if I had a full Archangel set, I am going to obtain a bonus here. A 6.50. So that's one of your options if you do have full Archangel. So that's one of the upsides to that. This is for offensive damage reduction. Ancestral Spirit Research is going to give you 20%. Your Godslayer Dragon Word that we looked at gives you 30. The Dragon Glass charge, if you're charging all 3 to pink, 1025. Magic Book, there's an opportunity to get 22%. Level 48 Warhammer and Purification, you could do this and get it, instead of doing the offensive damage, you could do offensive damage reduction. And then your castle decorations, there's an opportunity to get 20%. All right, let's look at castle decorations and enchanting. All right, this is my castle decorations, and they are talking about these stats. See, I have only 4 and 2% of offensive, but if you were to, there's more levels, there you could get more stats. I'm on level 33. So there's definitely an opportunity to get more stats here. All right, so let's go back. To the manual. All right, offensive says, after activating Warhammer Hero Slay skill in the next non-siege rally, if the total troop power of your castle is higher than the enemy's regardless of reinforcements, you'll randomly get an offensive damage taken reduction bonus between 10 and 25%. This is the other hero, the Warhammer, sorry, not hero, but it is the stat, and I'll show you that. back to Warhammer, and it's star number 1 of the skill. So if you have star 1, you can get offensive damage taken reduction bonus, non-siege rally. So it would have to be a 1-on-1. All right, so now going into defensive damage. Some of the ways that we're going to get offensive damage. Sorry. I keep doing that. All right, so offensive damage. You can obtain offensive damage from level 38 Dragon Glass, level 38 Dragon Glass charge bonus, Dragon Word God Above, Archangel Leg Guard, level 48 Hero Purification, Ancestral Spirit, Mercy of God's Crown, Mercy of God's Scepter, Red Dragon, Occult Analysis, College Research, Prince Ryan buff, Castle Decoration, and Flower Donation buff. So I will show you all those different areas as well. And here are all the what you could possibly get. Same with defensive damage. So let's look at the level 38 glass with the charge. We'll go to the pant first. All right, since I'm here. So as you can see on my pant, I do have 1 defensive damage taken. So that is a stat that you can get if you were able to times 5 your stats. You could go for the all 3 if you wanted to. Here in the glass, here's the defensive damage, and you would do the same thing, charge to all pink on your orange, your gold, and your purple. What I've learned, well, I learned kind of the hard way, was that you didn't have to charge these in order for that to be active. So I kind of wasted a lot of pink stones when this feature came out because I did not know how to do it properly. One of the other ways to get defensive damage is to gift flowers. You can gift flowers and obtain stats. So I think this gives you a total of 5, but I'm not sure. We'll look and look to see. So gift flowers. Let's see, where else? Oh, your dragon. Your red dragon. Your red dragon skills. So right here in the damage taken, it says reduction 25. So there's that. And God Above. God Above gives a lot. I'm working on that one. It's 9th Order Dragon Word. 27% defensive damage, and then 27 damage taken. So that's a tough one to get. But if you have it, awesome, awesome, awesome. So Ancestral Spirit Research. Mercy of Gods. So we're going to go here. We'll do Mercy of God. So you can get offensive, defensive damage and defensive damage taken here in the Mercy of Gods. And then you can, excuse me, also get it through the Loki Scepter. You can get defensive damage and defensive damage taken. So that's kind of cool. Go back. you are going to also be able to get it in the castle decorations that I showed you before. Okay, Prince Ryan. Prince Ryan here this is Ryan. As you can see here, you get a defensive damage of 6% and defensive damage taken reduction of 6%. So he would have to be completed to obtain that. You're going to do college research, sage research. And the sage, it is Eternal, Book of Eternal Life. And it's going to be these two here, Razor, Barrier, and then that is it. So you want to complete those. Showed you in the Ancestral Spirits. You're going to go to Huaxia has it. You can get 16% there. And then you can also obtain them in each legion. Defense. HP. I'm sorry, that's over here. It's been a long day. All right, so offensive damage taken. This is defensive damage taken and more defensive damage taken. So you can find those in each of your civilizations. And remember, you can do you can study all civilizations as long as you are at the right level. So you want to make sure that you have the right popularity point so you can go to each level and finish those. So you can do all 4 at a time. That way your stats can be better. So defensive damage, same level 38 Dragon Glass, level 38 Dragon Glass charge bonus, Dragon Word God Above, Archangel Leg Guard, Ancestral Spirit, Mercy of Gods, Crown and Scepter, your Red Dragon, Occult Analysis, which is your Sage, College Research, Brian Buff, Flower Decoration, and then 4 equipment of Guard Set on Lord and Hero. So if you were to have a Guard Set on your Lord and Hero, that would be a buff, but I wouldn't, well, I'm not partial to that. That's just my opinion. But if that's what you have, then that would work for you. So let's go back to the manual. Okay, it says, putting 6 pieces of guard set, we can get a bonus of 10% defensive damage. Overall attributes to defend, not worth or compared to Archangel set or Asylum set. So if you are doing this and you have to, I would, but like it says, it's not compared to Archangel. Putting 4 pieces of guard set, we can get a bonus of 10% defensive damage. Overall attributes to defend, not worth compared to Archangel set or Asylum set. So I hope you understand this manual. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments and I will try to answer them as soon as I can. And if I do not know the answer, I will definitely find someone to help me with the answer. I hope this helps you. And I want to give a shout out to the contributors for this manual, Chirag, Kingdom 1416, Memo, Kingdom 491, Captain Knox, Kingdom 767, and Annie from Kingdom 1976. Thank you for all your hard work to help us understand these stats a little bit better. We really appreciate you. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.